Hey, it's MJ, your pantry bestie and self-proclaimed dinner escape artist. So today I'm testing something that might blow your mind. Can you actually bake bread on a stovetop instead of the oven? Because when the power goes out, or you're in a camper, or just tired of your oven heating the whole house like a sauna, you still want to be able to use the oven. This stovetop oven might be what you're looking for. So here's what I did. I made my normal no-knead dough, plopped it into a loaf pan. Once it rose for 24 hours, I turned on the flame on medium-high. I stuck it in my stovetop oven right on my gas stove. And like a tiny campfire in a jar, let the thing cook. Okay, so it's only been like 30 minutes and this temperature is really hard to regulate in this thing because it's just fire on the bottom. So the inside, this parchment paper got pretty burnt. And I think the bottom got burnt just because there's so much heat on the bottom and it's not circulating very well. However, the whole loaf is like risen nicely, even though it's only been cooking for 30 minutes. So I want to pull it out because it kind of looks like it's burning. Let me see, I'll show you one second. Okay, so here we are at 30 minutes and it was cooking at like 450, 500 because it's kind of hard to regulate. So I turned it down, so now it's sitting around 400. Mostly because I think the bottom got burned. So anyways, here's our top at 30 minutes. And let's stick it back in for another 30 minutes and see if we can finish cooking because it still doesn't look quite done yet. But overall, this camp stove is working pretty good. We shall see. Let's let her cook a little longer. All right, another 20, 30 minutes. Okay, our bread in the stove cooktop has been cooking at about 400 to 450, creeped up to 500 for a little bit, for about an hour. I think it's about done. We're gonna see. It's kind of an experiment. I've never done this before. So the parchment got super burnt. Pull this out. All right, moment of truth. Wow, that is quite beautiful actually. We'll see if the bottom is burnt. Look at that, the loaf itself. Don't look at the parchment paper. Ignore the parchment paper that's burned to smithereens. The top is perfectly golden brown. It smells amazing. It had a beautiful rise, if you can see that. Now we're gonna see if the bottom got burnt, which might be because I used the glass pan. So next time we might use the cast iron pan if it's burnt, but let's see here. The bottom is burned to smithereens. Like, this is not gonna be fun to clean up. It is like it became one with the glass. The rice that I used is an insulator, which looks like it did a job, but we're gonna have to soak that in some water. Now we can see if our bread actually worked, minus the fact that I burned the crap ton of my pan. So the top is beautiful. Now let's look at the bottom. Oh, it's not looking good. Okay, it's not super bad. It's not super bad, as bad as that pan is. That's freaking hot though. Okay, so here's our top, so beautiful, and our sides. Our bottom will work pretty good because the rice insulated it pretty nicely, but our sides got burned to smithereens. Let's cut it open and see how the inside looks. See if it actually cooked the inside, and then you can cut off the burn parts, because if you're like me, I'm not wasting nothing. Okay, let's give her a cut. Let's see what we got. All right, honestly, it smells amazing. It looks slightly underdone. Could have used maybe another 10 minutes, but overall, this is actually quite gorgeous if you ignore the fact that the sides are burnt. But, I mean, you can very easily cut that burnt crust off, and in a pinch, this oven actually worked pretty well. Now, I will say, probably moving forward, next time I do this, I'm going to use my cast iron loaf pan, and hopefully it will help regulate the sides so the sides don't get so burnt, and then we might be in business. So, but for this actual stove, I wasn't sure how well it was gonna work because all the heat was coming from the bottom. I thought the bottom would get burnt, which it did. but I thought the bottom would get burnt and the top wouldn't cook at all. But it actually worked quite well. And one thing I like about this oven is you can load it from the top. So if you want, you can pull off the top and load your stuff into the top. Now, another option I maybe should have done is put the whole thing on the top, and then it wouldn't have been so close to the flame. I think I'll probably do that next time, is I'll use a cast iron loaf pan and put it close to the top and load it from the top itself and monitor the temperature better. And I think we might be in business. So overall, for this stovetop oven, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. This is awesome, awesome stovetop oven. The only problem is it doesn't seem like it has something on the bottom that regulates the temperature. The heat just comes straight in and burns that bottom. So if it were to be built with maybe like a cast iron or something on the bottom to spread out the heat better and insulate it and push it up, or some kind of self-propelling fan that when it starts getting hot, the fan starts turning. I don't know if you've seen those, but you don't need any power. The heat goes and the fan increases. So if it had that, I'd give it 10 out of 10. But 8 out of 10 is pretty amazing for this stovetop oven. You can take it camping. If your power goes out, you can cook things in an oven, because usually ovens, even for gas ovens, they have an electric start, or they just won't turn on at all if you don't have electricity connected to it, because there's a lot of safety features, whatever. Anyways, gas ovens don't usually work without power, like stove tops do that you can light with a lighter. So 8 out of 10. Huge fan of this stovetop oven. Link below if you want to get this same one that I got. Run some experiments yourself. I'm gonna try to cook another loaf of bread, maybe some muffins, and see how well it all cooks together. So if you're looking for more amazing pantry meal hacks ready in 5 minutes, all with stuff from your pantry, or fun experiments of how to cook without power, everything is fridge free, prepper friendly, emergency friendly. Follow me and check out loadedpotato.org. See you next time.